Welcome back to Coming and Going. In this segment, we're going to be given a tour of Shanghai.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, and thanks for allowing me the opportunity to show you, I guess, areas that I would check out on a day-to-day basis in Shanghai.
Yeah, why don't we start with that? Like, where would a local hang out? What were your favorite places to visit in Shanghai?
My favorite, unfortunately, I come coming across as that type of foreigner person and stuff. I enjoyed hanging out in the French Village,
Oh,
which
okay.
which was historically it was an area for French where the French expats would hang out and live and stuff during the late 1800s and early 1900s. And then now it's just full of nice restaurants and coffee shops and nightclubs and bars and things of that sort. And the reason why I like this area because after not being back at home in the States for roughly about 4 years at that time, this was like the closest area where I could find like Western food and Western type of activities. It kind of became like a home away from home, and as well as they had like batting cages and things of that sort
Oh, wow.
that I would just go and hang out with friends and have a good time and stuff. So that would be here. Can you see that on
Yes.
your screen? It'd be in this general area where they would also have like the Shanghai Arts and Crafts Museum, and also nearby was the historical museum of where the Chinese Communist Party began and stuff like that. I mean, political ideology and all that stuff aside, it is still for like an intellectual level to see where the Chinese Communist Party's humble beginnings and where it began, which was literally in like a person's apartment or
Wow.
house. That's when they first began, and then expanded to control the country from there. And
Wow. Are
so yeah,
there
this
specific
general.
like restaurants or cafes in the French concession that you absolutely must visit if you were to go back now?
Well, for me, because I've actually had like being here in the States and because I've had the actual, I see like Western food stuff all the time. I would just, quite honestly, I would just go to like the local dumpling shop that would literally be on like the main floor of my apartment building. And although the shop only served dumplings either wet or dry, or like in a soup form, or like dry dumplings, which is what I prefer. It was literally like a shack on the side of the road, but that mother and son operation, they made like the best dumplings that I'd ever had in my life, and that is probably would be the first place that I would
Oh,
go just to
wow. Do
meet them
you
because I'm sure I'm the only African American that they've ever known, and and I just go back and just chill with them for an hour and eat some dumplings first thing in the morning.
do you know, like, can you find it on the map for us? Would you be able to show us where it is on the map so our
Uh,
audience can go find it on their own if they were to
I
go?
could I could try. Let's see. Sorry, it's definitely been a few years since I've been.
No worries. It's amazing that you can still find it. Like,
Oh,
you know that you can tell that a person knows a place very well when they can tell you, like, I used to walk down this road and it intersected with this road. And it was right downstairs from where you lived, you said? Like, so
yeah,
basically this is your neighborhood local dumpling shop.
yeah. This is actually I actually did find where I lived, and it's
Okay.
in this building here.
Okay.
Chongsholu Sima Chonghualu. It says like
Okay.
these apartments.
So it would be somewhere in that area would be where the
Yeah,
dumpling shop was.
yeah. And the dumpling shop would be like right here, practically. Where I don't know if you can see the arrow.
Yeah.
Or yeah, you
Wow.
see.
Okay. Okay, so you get off the plane.
Mm-hmm.
First stop, dumpling shop.
Yep.
I'm assuming you would probably roam around the French concession a little bit. Where else would you want to go? Like, let's you have one day in Shanghai and you want to like where would you
Well,
I mean,
yeah, definitely. And sorry, as you see me, I'm over
yeah.
here, but the Shanghai Tower.
Okay.
is definitely like an iconic one. Let's see if they can. Yeah, so like in this area, like the Jingmao Tower, probably quite iconic. The
Okay.
Shanghai Tower, which looks like a bottle opener, is definitely where I would go. And that's like where the financial district is in
Okay.
The Pudong area.
Mm-hmm.
As well as like the Oriental Pearl Tower,
Okay.
which is which kind of look it's a cultural icon, I guess, of like modern day Shanghai. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess with my MBA brain on and with like the international business sector, it practically this is practically like the heartbeat of the Chinese financial district
Okay.
for all of China. So that'd be another area, and then I would also go to the Bund.
Mm.
The Bund is like the old area, which is like across the street here. And I don't know if you see the photos.
Yeah.
That's what the financial district, like the bottle top building there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is what that looks like. Uh, Looking across the river from the Bund, which is where I would definitely suggest. And like being like a bit of a history nerd and stuff. The Bund area is where well, Shanghai was like I guess first westernized
Mm.
and where quite a lot of the business deals and things of that sort was first done and established along that area. Here, let me see if oh that's a tunnel. Sorry, just going by the cuff
Yep.
here.
Yep.
There should be some iconic buildings. Okay, all right, but yeah, like it sucks that they can't find it. Let's see. Let me do this. Fun. Shanghai. Oh, it keeps showing that. Oh, okay. Here's some interesting photos. Like this is what the bun. I don't know if you see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what the bun looks like, and that was the old historical
So it
financial.
looks a little bit more less high-risey and more like um I guess colonial style. Is that what I
Yeah,
hear?
yeah. That's definitely a good way to put it. And practically when the British were applying their trade methods on the Chinese people and stuff, those activities primarily came through this area as well. And so
Nice.
if I only had like a day layover or something, I would probably center it around both those two areas as
Okay. Are there like do you go back with a list of things you must eat? I
well.
know I do when I go back to Asia.
I mean, honestly, no, not really. And I guess in that aspect, I've been spoiled because my wife is a excellent cook of Chinese food and stuff, and so like with that, with that, I really that's taken, I guess, my desire of like must-haves that I need.
Fair, fair. Or any like cafes or bars that you would frequent on this one day that you have in Shanghai for yourself?
Yeah. Let me see if I can actually pull it up here. Here, like my one of my buddies, yeah, Cages, yeah. This is probably like a bar that I would probably like
Oh
waste some
wow.
time in.
Okay.
Um, Let me see if it'll show me. Okay, here. All
Does it
right.
have a batting cage in it too?
Yes, it does. I guess like American culture and how we like to drink and pretend like we're playing sports and stuff. So I would
So
definitely, yes, I would definitely go here to like the cages. Do they have like other photos at all, or let's see? I guess it's like yeah, it's
yeah.
like a typical like American bar. Oh, here's like a batting cage, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. And the owners are really good people. We also play like cornhole. If you're like I said, if as like a Chinese person, if you want to gain some like a U.S. cultural firsthand experience without leaving Shanghai, I definitely recommend going to Cages and stuff. Or if like you're the Lawway expat that misses home, then Cages.
This is your happy place, huh? This would be
Yeah,
where you would go, wow.
yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Do they usually, it looks like a sports bar there. Do they
Yeah.
usually play like it looked like there was soccer, and then I guess I'm showing that I'm American too. Soccer and what is that? Baseball. Do they have like football games up
Yeah.
or
Yeah, they have they
like
show
American
all the
football?
sports. Yeah. They'll show all the sports
Nice.
and stuff.
Wow.
As well. Yeah, and it's a good practice for going to an American bar and stuff while you're there. Yeah, and the owners are really cool people as well.
Very nice.
Yeah, and then from there, I guess jumping back to to Shanghai, perhaps like the Yu Garden. It's pretty cool spot that I would definitely recommend there. It's right off the Bund, actually
Okay.
pretty close to the Bund, and and it shows like it's like a green piece or a green space type area, which is definitely like a premium in a city as dense as Shanghai. Green spaces are definitely a premium, and this is definitely like one of them where it shows like how how like traditional Chinese buildings looked back in back in history and stuff. And I actually like the traditional Chinese architecture how
Oh.
it is compared to some of the modern designs that they have. But it's a pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it looks really nice. What is there admissions to this park or is it it's
Uh,
just a public space for everyone?
yeah, I think it's just in the public space for everyone. I mean, of course, there's gift shops and stuff like that everywhere, but if I remember correctly, this one was free to just walk through.
Oh wow. Well, it looks very pretty.
Definitely.
How would you recommend getting around? Like, would you walk? I'm assuming there's the subway. Does that
Yeah.
usually take you to all the places?
Uh,
Um,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first and foremost, I definitely recommend like walking with a local friend or like a local guide of sort. But then having said that, I mean, I definitely think that that the subway would probably be the most efficient, perhaps in getting around where you want as well.
why specifically a local guide?
Oh, because like a local guide would know the nuances and could and would also like obviously like know the language and the local culture and when you're pressed for time and you need and you want to take in as much of Shanghai as you can within a short amount of time, that would definitely be the most efficient way.
When I visited, even though I spoke the language, I found that it was very difficult to get around because none of the apps I was used to, like Google Maps, worked. Did you
Yeah.
experience that, and how did you get around that?
Yeah. Well, the way I got around it was like a VPN. And I guess that would be like another thing that I would definitely have before I would go to China is have like a VPN already set up and established. And but then having said that, it's actually like a funny story. Was like I said, when I first went to Shanghai or decided to go to China, I did it like on a last minute one without like any previous planning or anything like that. And I didn't really know that I needed to get a VPN and stuff until I realized that suddenly like my computer was running really slow and I couldn't get access to news and stuff like that because I'm a bit of a global news junkie and stuff. I like to know what's going on in throughout the world. And it took me roughly about like a month or so to figure out what I needed to do in order to be able to watch games and stuff like that off of my laptop there in Shanghai, which is getting a VPN. And the first thing I saw once I actually got the VPN like up and running, the first thing I saw was that like my favorite baseball team, the Kansas City Royals, being born and raised in Kansas City, saw that they were in the World Series.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and I don't know how much you know about the Royals, but they've been consistently fighting to be the worst team in professional baseball. And then when I saw that, I thought that I thought that I was like looking at the onion or something. Then I and then I was looking around. I was like, wow, they actually got really good during the month or so that I was here in China, and now they're in the World Series. And that was like the biggest
Wow.
surprise, that like the power of, after like going for like a roughly like a month and a half without having any type of access to the outside world, to suddenly seeing that was like a huge surprise for
The
me.
power of the internet and the news, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and then I guess jumping back to shifting gears back to Shanghai, like I said, if I only had like the least amount of time, I would definitely spend it either at the Bund or over here in the financial district. And then, but then, however, if I did have kids with me, and knowing like their attention span and stuff like that, I'd probably take them to Shanghai Disneyland as
Ooh.
well. And generally speaking, based off of my experience, all the Disneylands are the same
Okay. Are
throughout
they?
the world. Yeah, well, yeah, throughout the world. But however, there were like a few. No, I don't want to go to the hotel. I want to go to Disneyland. But however, there were there were a few like Chinese character. There seemed to be like a wonderful harmony of actual local Chinese culture in the Disneyland
Okay.
parks here in the Shanghai area. So then I'd probably, if I had kids and stuff, and wanted to wear them out for the day so that they would sleep great on the flight, then I would take them here to
To
Shanghai.
Shanghai Disney, huh? How would
Yeah.
you get there?
You could take a subway, or
Oh wow.
you could take the subway, or I think you probably take like a Uber or a taxi out there as well.
Do you like how do you recommend calling an Uber? Did you have a specific app that you would use? Would me as a visitor be able to just use an Uber?
Well, see, that's another reason why I would suggest having a local guide with you, because you are right. The Uber app in China is strictly in Chinese. I don't know if they have like an English version of it now or not, but back when I was there, it was like strictly in Chinese. And so yeah, having like a local guide to help you be able to pull up like an Uber and stuff like that on your app. Is like one of the definitely the time saving measures that works out for you in the long run.
Good to keep in mind. Okay, so are there any like places that you recommend visiting if you wanted to see more of like the local culture, or like where do the locals hang out?
That's definitely a good question. And in terms of like the local hangouts, I mean, you can go to like any like general area outside of the French concession and the tourist spots, and you'll more than likely find like areas and opportunities where locals hang out.
Okay.
But there is I forgot the name of a village, but there's like especially a village that has been specially preserved from the late 1800s and early 1900s, that many tourists go to, and individuals, Chinese people actually still live in like those old style homes and stuff. But it's a especially like designated
What do you
historic
mean
area.
by traditional homes? Are you talking about like the canals or like
Yeah,
buildings?
yeah, well, both actually, like canals and the buildings. And I feel really bad that I forgot the name of forgot the name of that village, but it was right across the street from one of the major malls there, and just walking around like those narrow pathways and stuff, and like seeing like the historical architectural designs and things of that sort is definitely like one that I would definitely
Okay.
check out.
It's okay.
But
Yeah, we can always look it up and we can share it
uh,
with the audience later.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But I mean, having said that, I mean, in any practically like in any of these areas that you can
Mm.
see, there's always like nooks and crannies of like old neighborhoods and stuff like that of locals just doing their thing on a daily basis.
Do you think it's fairly easy to walk around as someone who's not from China and visiting, like as a tourist, to get around and find things, or do you have any tips for how to go about finding more of like the local nooks and crannies?
Well, I would say like the short answer I would say is like there are some areas that are easy to navigate and some areas where you can get where it's easy to get lost in as well. Sorry about the ambiguity of the answer, but in terms of making sure that you don't get lost and things like that, I would say I would say having like an established or hey, first of all, know what hotel or your place of stay. Know that area, or at least be able to pinpoint that on a map, so that you have somewhat of a point of reference. And then after saying that, I mean, if you don't have a local guide with you or something like that, there's always I'm pretty sure that you've always run in being humble and outgoing, you always run into a Chinese person that is more than happy to, or a Shanghai person that is more than happy to practice their English with you. And then you just ask them or to put pinpoints on a map or something like that of where to go and stuff as well.
Okay.
And in terms of safety and things of that sort, that was another big surprise for me as to actually how safe Shanghai and the other major metropolitan cities in China are. I mean, you can probably walk around any neighborhood, don't have to worry about getting beat up or robbed or anything like that as well.
Wow. That's good to hear that it's very safe.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Um,
the only thing you have to worry about, I guess, is perhaps like getting pickpocketed
oh
or
wow.
something
Okay.
like that. But
Did you have a system in place to prevent pickpockets or just more aware?
yeah, just general raise awareness and putting my phone in my wallet in my front pocket rather than my back pockets.
That's always smart when traveling. I'd agree with that one.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, definitely.
I want to go back to the food. I know you like to eat your wife's food here, but like, are there any must-try foods, even if you didn't have them all the time, while you were in Shanghai, or if even if you didn't like them, that you think are very representative of your time in Shanghai?
Less tried. You said less tried foods.
Like must-try foods.
Oh, must try foods. Um, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend trying like the local traditional Chinese food and stuff like that. And I would say even despite what taste that you have, your preference if you're vegan, vegetarian, or meat eater, there's a Chinese selection of dishes that can fit any type of dietary requirements.
Did you have
I'm
any
pretty
favorite Chinese
sure.
dishes while you were there?
Yeah, my favorite is definitely hong. Uh, I guess I'm going to mispronounce it, but hong shao ro,
Hong
which
Shao Rou.
is
Uh-huh.
pork belly, and that was General Mao's. I learned later on. I learned that that was Mao Zedong's favorite
Oh
dish
wow. I didn't
as
even know
well.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I would definitely say that that's my favorite. But honestly, with the various arrays of spices and stuff like that, you could definitely put and you can definitely put that on any type of food, and it just in terms of like the traditional like seven spices and stuff like that from Shanghai, you can put that on any type of dish, and it just make it taste great.
Seven spices. I have to remember that one. Well,
Yeah.
it looks like we're coming to an end again. But to wrap up, what are What do you think are three things that someone visiting Shanghai should know about China before visiting? So I would assume one of them would definitely be VPN that you mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
So aside from VPN, anything else they should pay attention to?
Well, definitely make sure that you keep your electronics and your documents in your front pocket versus your back pocket. And then also like despite Shanghai being like a huge city and stuff like that, it is definitely safe. And B, people are generally patient and Chinese people are generally patient and friendly with you and are always willing to practice their English as well. So I would say just go there with like a with an open mind and also be bring patience as well because a you might not be able to speak Chinese, and even if you do speak a good level of Chinese, speaking that in Shanghai is another level. And then yeah, so then basically just go there. Don't be afraid to be put yourself out there, be outgoing and be friendly, and you'll be amazed at the experiences that you'll see in front of you.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for bringing me on and showing you, I guess, my perspective of Shanghai.
Yeah, thank you for the tour of Shanghai.
No worries.